Hey guys, and welcome to my stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Wow, I haven't said those words in so long. I want you guys to know that I missed you more than you missed me, and I'm happy I'm back here for you with another video just to give you my perspective on everything that's been going on.
The IRS is so far behind, sent 24 million tax returns from 2020 behind. The IRS has temporarily halted collection notices. Yeah, here's what to do if you still get one. In what will undoubtedly come as relief to taxpayers who are tired of getting mail from the IRS, unless it's a refund check, right? The agency announced that it is suspending more than a dozen automated letters so that it can catch up on its massive backlog of unprocessed tax returns. The suspended letters include collection notices, balance due notices, and unfiled tax return notices. Accounting Today reported the move comes amid mounting pressures from lawmakers and tax professionals for the IRS to get current on unprocessed returns. As previously reported by Go Banking Rates, the IRS faces a staffing shortage just as it is gearing up for a potentially complicated tax season, with filers including stimulus checks and advanced child tax credit payments on this year's returns. The agency said it will temporarily reassign 1,200 employees to help it navigate the next several months and hopefully avoid another backlog of unprocessed returns. Well, good luck with that. The IRS finally relented and said that they will go ahead with this. Quote, "Our efforts are not limited to the suspension of these additional letters and the possibility of similar actions going forward," IRS Commissioner Chuck Rettig said in a statement. Quote, "We have redeployed and reallocated resources throughout the IRS and have implemented innovative strategies in an ongoing effort to provide a meaningful reduction in our inventory." The IRS cautioned that some taxpayers and tax pros might still get notices over the next few weeks. If you get one that is outdated or has already been resolved, there's no need to call or respond to it, according to Accounting Today. But if you believe a notice is accurate, the IRS recommends working to rectify the situation. Also, I wanted to mention a comment here by Victoria Gonzalez here on one of my most recent videos. She says, "Hey Jimmy, chiming in here from Ohio State. Just a quick reminder that city, tax, or township offices that collect tax payments do offer free tax preparation. So please check in with them before looking into paying for those services. In fact, many public places like the library and sometimes public schools, at least here in Ohio, offer free tax services." Also, when I Googled IRS free tax help, I found this webpage. I'll link you to this down below here in the description, as long as I don't forget. But you can see here, find a location for free tax help here directly on the IRS here. You can click it, and it takes you to the IRS volunteer. Let me zoom this in here. The IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, VITA, and the Tax Counseling for the Elderly, TCE programs offer a free tax help for taxpayers who qualify. Find a provider. And I believe it said somewhere else here, February through April. So you can put your zip code in here and apparently get free tax assistance. Yeah, here it is, from February through April. So I'll put a link down below in the description of this video for you guys. So if you do need to file a tax return, you might be able to get it done for free, potentially, through either Victoria's comment here. You can look it up through what she says here. Pause the video on that and maybe use her advice. Or through this link here on the IRS website, which I will put in the description for you. And really, that's what I'm trying to do here, is just try to help you guys as much as possible every single day here on a daily basis, as well as bring you guys the latest information and news, what's going on here in our country. And really, there's just so many people still struggling here with the pandemic, and 63% of people that are behind on their bills and struggling with their bills. And, you know, the pandemic is just exacerbated, and the inflation. The problem with the pandemic is that when the country closed down, we had the recession kind of start, or the depression kind of start, and inflation kind of stopped. So instead of the normal 2% inflation going on, 2.5% inflation going on, we basically kind of went down to like 0% inflation. So what happened is, instead of that 2% inflation happening, we had no kind of inflation happening. We actually kind of seen some deflation happening. You can kind of see that with gas prices. The demand for gas kind of stopped. The country closed. You've seen gas prices plummet because the country shut down. And you've seen a lot of things like this happen, where prices actually went down on a lot of things because of the demand went down because the country was closed. And then it took a long time for the country to kind of start to get back as things kind of reopen. And we've seen a lot of industries do this as well, with travel, leisure, hospitality, where they just kind of took a long time to reopen. And then what happened is that we've seen the supply chain shortages and all these things exacerbated, and that had prices kind of spike up. So because when we have supply chain shortages and when we have shortages, the supply and demand, they raise price. When there's a shortage on things and demand is still there, because we have 330 million people in our country, so when people still need food, when people still need gas, when the country isn't closed anymore, and now normal people are going back to work, everything goes up, because when the demand is still there, and now there's a shortage on anything, right? You see the price go up. Well, the other problem here is that inflation is now coming back, because when you get that 0% inflation, which we had during the recession, what typically happens when you come out of recessions, the economy tends to make up for the inflation. If you study economics here, this tends to happen almost every single time when you come out of a recession. Okay, the economy tends to make up for the inflation. So when you go from that 0% inflation, you'll typically go to like maybe a 5%, or even right now we're at a 7.5% inflation, which is typically high. We're at a 40-year high, but a 40-year high means that this happened 40 years ago. So this is not like this has never happened before. It happened 40 years ago, okay? And before that, we had some, we're not, previously, before that, we had 5 and 6% inflations in other recessions, because what happened is, instead of your 2 to 2.5% inflation, what happened is that you had some mini recessions in there. And what they're doing is they're just making up for that 2.5% inflation that you didn't get from the recession the year before. So you're getting that 2.5% from last year, which we didn't get, and you're adding it on top of the 2.5% that you're supposed to get normal. So there's where you get your 5%, 6%, and now we're at 7.5%, which is a little bit worse than kind of what we're expecting. So the problem with this is that as we come out of the recession, which we should be doing now, but the problem here is that this isn't a normal recession, because we have a pandemic in addition. We have a virus in addition, okay? And that's why here we are in year 3, 2020, 2021, and now 2022. So this is kind of where this is kind of a abnormal recession or depression, because we have this virus still kind of hindering us. We just had the Omicron variant, it's just still record amounts of people still dying here on a daily basis. And, are we going to have Omicron 2.0, the BA.2 variant, which is now the dominant variant in South Africa and Hong Kong and in all these different places in the world now? Is that going to happen again? And, It's just, that's the problem with this recession, is that normally if we didn't have this virus, well, I mean, if we didn't have the virus, we wouldn't have this whole recession to begin with. But if you kind of like just say we would have had the recession and say the virus went away by now, we'd be out of this, okay? But the problem is this virus is still hanging around. It's still hanging around. It's still hanging around. It's still here in 2022. In fact, when we just look at this new Omicron variant that we just had, or the first variant of it, it was the worst. I mean, literally, we had days of over 1 million people testing positive. And the problem is we don't know when it's going to end, if it's going to end. We don't know if it's going to get down to, sustainable levels where we can live with it, or if it's going to go away at any given point, kind of like some of the old past viruses did, like maybe H1N1, Zika virus, some of those type of viruses were like, maybe they didn't really go away forever. They're kind of still out there, but they're basically dormant, per se. They're not really affecting us on a daily basis. They were kind of here one day and they're kind of gone. Yeah, they're kind of out there, but not really affecting us. Is that going to happen here with this, or is it going to be more like the flu and more like the common cold? Is it going to be here around every day? Let me know your thoughts here. But that's the problem with the economy right now and with people's lives. I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen here for the rest of 2022. Are we going to continue to see new waves of this, new variants of this, and people's lives being affected here on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Or is it going to go away at some point, or at least get down to levels that are just like manageable? I mean, just literally 2 weeks ago, we had people, 1 million people testing positive per day. And right now we're still seeing near record amount of people dying because, deaths are a lagging indicator. So there's, still all those people are in the hospital fighting for their lives. Yeah, so 2022 is just, it's turning out to be the trilogy, right? If you're a movie fan, the trilogy, right? The 2020, 2021, 2022.
Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really missed you. Hopefully I'll see you here again very, very soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified whenever I publish new videos for you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.